For years, April has been known as Confederate History Month. Historically, many Southern states celebrated this month and used it as a time to honor and recognize their Confederate history and heritage. And as you know, I have recently brought a few new amazing products to the forefront, like our keychain, our Great Seal keychain, our brand new monument coin for the Fame Preservation Group. These are two beautiful items. And if you haven't gotten them already, you can go to ConfederateShop.com now and get those. But really what I wanted to do this month is feature something entirely new. If you've noticed recently, my YouTube channel has quite a couple short stories of various Confederates. Now, I'm going to be creating a lot more of these over the next month, and I'm going to specifically highlight heroic deeds of Confederate soldiers during the war. As I previously shared the story of Richard Kirkland at the Battle of Fredericksburg, I will also be highlighting the amazing story of Sam Davis, the boy hero of the Confederacy. But why am I doing this? As you may know, the modern narrative portrays anyone who celebrates Confederate history as a hateful, evil individual. They portray the Confederacy and Confederates as evil villains. People have been so propagandized to believe this that many individuals who walk into my shop cannot emotionally handle or tolerate what they see around them, much less have a civilized conversation with somebody they have never met like myself. It's sad to say the least. So what am I trying to do with these stories? It's tell them a humane story of an individual, someone who actually lived, someone whose story cannot be denied, a story that relates to us, things that we can understand, like that of Richard Kirkland, who, at the risk of his own life, went on the battlefield, gave the enemy some water because he felt it was his Christian duty and he saw another man suffering and he was going to do what he could. Or like that of Sam Davis, the story I'm sharing this week. Sam could have easily saved his own life simply by betraying his honor and betraying his friends, but yet he didn't. And it's stories like these, of these two men, and men like Stonewall Jackson and Robert E. Lee, men of character, men of virtue, that we honor and we remember in Confederate History Month. Now, in saying all that, you know I need to highlight some books. I had just spoken about Sam Davis. His story is really spoken of in Valor and Gray quite well. I love the way Greg Clemmer writes Sam's story. It's very compelling. And as with everything in this book, Valor and Gray, it's all short stories. So if you want to sit down and read for 10 minutes, you can get an entire story of an individual or two within that span of time, depending how fast you can read. But this week is featured in our newsletter. I also have a few other select books on young men of the Confederacy. Since we're talking about Sam Davis and since his story is really so powerful, I wanted to feature some other heroic individuals who were either young men or even boys themselves, be considered as boys, who fought for the Confederacy and were heroic. Now, some of these titles are The Boy Major of the Confederacy, which is a story of Joseph White Latimer, very interesting. A Confederate Boys Experience in the War. Now, both of these are booklets, so they're fairly inexpensive. Both are $8 each, so you can get these, put these on your shelf without spending a whole lot of money. The last book is more of a bit of an in-depth title. It's John Pelham of Alabama. Now, he was the gallant chief of Jeb Stuart's horse artillery, so this is going to go in depth of his life. Also a very young man. You can get all these books this week on ConfederateShop.com. And as always, y'all, thank you so much for supporting my work here. Now, this channel is not monetized, so if you want to support me, please go to ConfederateShop.com and purchase something there. Y'all have a wonderful day.